what we're doing is we want to showcase 5 pieces from our inventory that either came in this week and went live on the site or will be going up live next week. Just kind of a fun way for us to give you guys a sneak peek into some of the pieces that are going to be hitting our site or just freshly were added to the website. So the idea is, like I said, to grab these 5 pieces, talk through them real quick, and keep it nice and short. So let's go directly over to the split screen here, and we'll dive right in. So we're gonna jump right into the deep end here, and we're gonna start off with the Rolex Le Mans Daytona. So this is the reference 126529LN, and we already have somebody in the chat. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. As I said, Rolex Le Mans Daytona. This one's pretty self-explanatory why I'm excited about it, but if you're not familiar, this is kind of the be-all and end-all modern Daytona. So this is a white gold case, white gold bracelet, and then it kind of, like I said, it's a greatest hits of features from the past. So this has a lot of really interesting little Easter eggs, from previous Daytonas. So I'm going to try and zoom in here a little bit on this dial, and if you can see in those sub-dials with my shaky hands, I've had too much coffee today. Okay, there we go, right there, perfect. So if you look at those sub-dials, you can see that it has those that kind of serif font from the iconic Paul Newman 6239 that everybody's familiar with for selling for $11 million at Phillips a few years ago. This also is quite interesting because Rolex released this, and the reason why it's called the Le Mans, it was released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Le Mans endurance race in France last year. If you look closely on the bezel, there is a red 100 to commemorate the 100th anniversary. And then also in the 9 o'clock sub-dial, which is usually a 12-hour sub-register, this is actually a 24-hour counter. So Rolex actually changed the movement, updated the movement so that it counts a full 24 hours if you're running the chronograph for that long. So super interesting piece. Obviously, crazy exclusive. Rolex only made this for actually less than a year. So it's been discontinued. They now only make it in yellow gold. So this is just a crazy collectible, really, really interesting piece that if you're, a serious Daytona collector, you've got all the vintage pieces, you've got all the modern pieces. This is one that really needs to be in your collection. So moving on, next up, I actually really love this piece. So I'm a huge F.P. Journe fan. I love what he does. I think just his approach to watchmaking is just different and interesting and exciting. And I really love this. This is the chronometer Souverain. This is the black label. So this is ostensibly Patek's entry-level watch, the chronometer Souverain. Very simple, time only, 40 millimeter platinum case. But this has the extra kind of black label, magic sprinkled on top of it. So the black label line is a super exclusive line of pieces within the F.P. Journe collection that are only made available to existing owners of F.P. Journe pieces, and they're only available for purchase from from company-owned boutiques. So the black label line, they're all in platinum. It is the standard model. So here the chronometer Souverain with this black dial. So 40 millimeter platinum case, this black dial. And each boutique can only request 12 black label pieces, of any, any mix of the different models, but 12 pieces per year. So that means that, 12 pieces a year, F.P. Journe has 12 boutiques. So at most per year, only 144 black label models are able to be produced. So super rare, super interesting. Again, this is F.P. Journe's, kind of entry-level piece, which is crazy to say about a platinum F.P. Journe, but it just has that extra kind of exclusivity and just, specialness that I really appreciate in modern watches. So really cool piece. This is actually live on the site right now. Let me go to my notes because I'm an idiot and I need to make sure that I get the information correct. Next up is Rolex Day Date reference 18039. So this is a white gold Rolex day date, presidential bracelet, classic 36 mil day date look. But what makes this one extra special is that sodalite dial. So this is sodalite. If you're not familiar, it's a stone-like gem kind of material, semi-precious stone that Rolex and other watchmakers, work with, kind of like meteorite, where they slice really thin slivers of the material and they create dials out of it. So this one has that bluish black textured sodalite dial, and then it has diamond indices. So really, really cool combination. I love these earlier, 80s 36 mil day dates anyways. The bracelet on this one is actually in really nice condition, but I kind of like them when they get a little bit janky. Don't really care about them. They're really cool. The really interesting thing about this, sodalite is a fairly delicate material. Sorry, there we go, in focus now. So pretty delicate material. And this one, I wish I had a loop so that I could show you guys, but no cracks, no damage on the dial whatsoever. So this one's been really well cared for. Also, it comes with its original box and papers, which is super cool. So this is an R serial, which I believe is 1989. Has its original box, original Rolex certificate showing the original date of sale in 1989. So really, really interesting piece. This one actually has an Italian day disc in there. So for all you Italian speakers, Sabato, I don't know. If you want to add some Italian flair to your watch collection, check this one out. This is live on the site as well. And if you're really into sodalite, we also have a white gold sodalite dial Daytona on the site. So check those out. Moving right along, next up, I have the C by Romain Gauthier. This is the Titanium Edition 4. So this is a really interesting piece, and I was pretty excited about it when it first was introduced. I guess it was a little over a year ago now. This is Gauthier's first kind of foray into the sport watch world. Gauthier, if you're not familiar, super high-end watchmaker, known for, kind of haute horology, high-end complications, really incredible watchmaking. And they said, hey, we kind of want to get out there. We want to make a sport watch. We want to make something that, our collectors, our buyers can strap on their wrist and, be active with. So this is what they came out with. And honestly, I'm like thoroughly impressed by it. Really interesting kind of dial layout and look. It's kind of tough to see, but on this has a really interesting textured dial. So it's this coated black titanium case with that high polish finish on it, which is actually quite difficult to achieve. And then that really nice grayish black textured dial with that blue accent, on the dial, on the crown, the rubber of the crown, and on this really awesome blue rubber strap. Only 38 total pieces of this exact model have been produced, are going to be produced. So rare. Gautier is a very small producer, so no surprise there. The real kind of party piece, beauty of this is actually this movement. So as I said, Gautier really known for their their horological chops, making just really complicated. You might know the Logical 1, Fusee and chain piece. Just really, really high-end watchmaking, and it's kind of tough to see, but there's these really gorgeous, kind of like, it almost looks like a clover leaf style, and that is, they're spoked, ratchet wheels and gears. It's a manual line movement, which, kind of an interesting choice, I guess, for a sport piece, but I think it's great. It's just gorgeous. The finishing on this, there's all different, anglage and textures and kind of like a sandblast, almost like a, I can't even think of the word right now, but almost like a sandblast finish there on those bridges. So really, really special, really interesting way to kind of put like a really high-end, independent brand on your wrist. Really awesome piece. Huge fan of this. Check out our site. I know that's live right now. And then finally, hold on, going to my notes, because this one I don't know as much about, but this, which Rob and I actually talked about on our live stream yesterday, this is a Breguet. This is a regulator tourbillon, reference 5307. And it's kind of all the things I love about Breguet. So you have this really classic style case, you know, Breguet known for this coin edge finishing on the side of their cases, those straight lugs, and then even better, see if I can get it, you can kind of see if I kind of move it around there, the dial is just completely stunning. You have two different finishes of guilloche on that dial. There's a little bit of like a, yeah, I can't show it on the main part of the dial, it's not picking it up, but it's almost like a wave pattern, and then that checkerboard in the actual time subdial up at 12 o'clock. This is a regulator display, so you have the hours there in that smaller dial at 12, and then that bigger hand rotates around for the minutes. And then obviously the real main attraction of this piece is that 60-second tourbillon cage exposed at 6 o'clock there. You also get that blued second hand that rotates as well, along with the tourbillon. Even better, the movement on this one is just absolutely amazing. Hand decoration on pretty much everything you can see. You know, you have on that rotor there, that skeletonized B rotor, and then in all of those bridges and plates and everything underneath, if you can see, just unbelievable hand guilloche, hand decoration, super high level finishing. This one just went live on our site. Check it out. I believe it's somewhere in the mid 50s for a platinum Breguet tourbillon. So this is just, you know, again, a little snapshot of 5 of the most, what I consider to be the most interesting pieces that hit our site or are about to hit our site that came in this week. Hope you guys like getting this little bit of a, you know, look behind the curtain on what we have and what we have coming in. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure that you know, like the video, do all the normal things that YouTube people ask you to do. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, throw on, you know, click that little bell icon for notifications so that you can see when we just pop on live and do these kinds of things. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Hope you guys will tune in again, and